Sears and Roebuck Foursquare home. It sits right across the street from Asbury University, and this is where we run campus ministry and missions mobilization. So we draw the next generation of young people into cross-cultural missions opportunities, and we also work with students to disciple them and help them discern what God has for their lives. So that's just a picture of the front of the center. The next picture is a little bit of a picture of the ministry that we run every week called Co-Seek. It is seeking the heart and will of God together. Every Sunday night, we run a discipleship program that includes small groups. And we study the Bible together, and then we break off into small groups and share our lives with one another. And this is mostly Asbury University students. And we then feed them a full meal afterwards. And so that is our weekly campus ministry, Sunday evenings, called Co-Seek. And then Janelle, the next picture is a picture of my wife. She takes on feeding about 50 students, 40 to 50 students every Sunday evening with a team of our student leaders. So it's a big undertaking. She's my number one volunteer right now. And thank goodness she is a good cook. The students keep coming back, so I think that's a good sign. Then also the next picture is just a little bit of what I do on a regular basis. I work with students, a student leadership team. So I recruit students to work with me to run the ministry. So I firmly believe in practical leadership development, giving students the opportunity to actually do ministry. So they actually run our weekly campus ministry and also do ministry with their friends and their fellow students throughout the week. And I do some leadership development with them throughout the week as well. The next slide is kind of some of the pastoral ministries that I do on campus. I work as the chaplain for the men's basketball team. I spend a lot of my time in one-on-one meetings throughout the week with Asbury University students, Asbury Theological Seminary. The seminary is right across the street from the university, and so we have opportunity to work with and disciple and work with both seminary students and with Asbury University students. And in my pastoral ministries, I get the opportunity to also do premarital counseling. One of my favorite things with young couples is to walk through that journey of preparing for marriage, and then occasionally get to speak in chapels and various opportunities that Asbury gives me in teaching in classes and that sort of thing. One of my favorite aspects on the next picture of our ministry is mission trips, and I think that's the next picture. So every summer, I take about 2 mission trips per summer with Asbury University students, and also a spring break trip. These are some pictures of some of the teams that I have led and have sent around the world. So in this picture in particular, you're going to see a picture, I think for you, it's the top left. If you go to the top left, the picture here, that is in Colombia. This team on the right just got back from Hungary, Budapest, Hungary, where they did English camps with children and youth in a small town on the border of Croatia and Hungary. Bottom left is my team that I took to the Philippines a couple years ago, and then bottom right is a team that went to Mexico this past summer and did some ministry in just outside of Mexico City. This is my favorite part of ministry. I'm a missionary kid. I grew up in the country of Indonesia, and I love taking teams of young people around the world and seeing how God uses them to minister to others. One story, just real quick to share, the next picture is something that happened on my trip to the Philippines. I had just finished preaching at a small church in northern Philippines and in a kind of a rural village area with a small church. And one of my students came to me after I had preached and said, "Hey, I've had this vision on the airplane flying over here of a church, and I'm supposed to share a word with the pastor and the pastor's wife of this church. But every church we visited, it's not been that church. But this is the church. This is where I'm supposed to share a word." And I said, "Okay, what is this? What's going on?" And she said, "Please, just trust me. God has given me this vision." And so I asked the pastor if she could get back up and share. And she got up and said, "Folks, when I was flying on the airplane, I saw this church." And she pointed to a lady. She said, I knew this was a church when I saw this lady with a purple shawl. Happened to be one of the founding members of the church. And she said, I'm supposed to tell you, the pastor and pastor's wife, that God has seen your faithfulness and he is going to bring the youth and the children and the families of this community into your church. And the pastor and the pastor's wife fell on the ground weeping. And the pastor came to me afterwards, and we had this wonderful Spirit-filled time of ministry over them, just prayed over them. The Holy Spirit fell upon us, and just a powerful time of encouraging them. The pastor came to me afterwards. He said, David, I've been here 17 years. I grew up in this church. I was getting ready to quit. That's the power of a mission team coming and encouraging a national pastor, a national partner. Then we ran a basketball and volleyball clinic where we had hundreds of children come to that after the church service. I have since then looked on Facebook, and that church is now overflowing with children and youth. It's awesome to see their ministry, and they have been revitalized, and God is using that pastor and his wife. Just one example of how God can use college students just in a powerful way. And then the next picture is just a big part of what I do is I recruit young people into missions. Just one quick story. The young man on the bottom left just texted me a couple days ago. He just got back from Hungary, and he was in church on this past Sunday. His pastor preached on Romans 1, talking about what it means to be a bondservant, Paul being a bondservant when serving the Lord. And he said, David, something happened. He goes, I think I might be called to cross-cultural missions. And he said, when I get back, I want to talk to you. So that's a big part of my role. The two young ladies over here work at our headquarters last summer. One of them is actually in Italy right now. She's doing some ministry and he said, when I get back, I want to talk to you. So that's a big part of my role. The two young ladies over here work at our headquarters last summer.